And now the purple dusk of twilight time steals across the meadows. You wander down the lane and far away, leading me a song that will not die. Love is like a stardust of yesterday, the music of the years gone by.
Just so you know, I wanted to give you a heads up, just in case you were wondering. I'm not a deep fake, and I'm not an AI avatar. I'm 100% human, okay? But anyways, that song, every time you hear it, you feel something, right? And the reason why is because it was written from lived experience. Now, listen to this.
I used to fold myself into your corners, made myself small enough to fit between your scattered thoughts and maybes, while you looked right through where I sit.
The first time I heard this song, I thought it was beautiful. I'm like, almost flawless. The hook, the pops, just the whole sound of it. And then I went to go look it up and listen to it again, listened through it, and here's the truth. Sadie Winters is not real. You can't go see her live in concert. You're never gonna see her have anxiety before stepping on stage like I just did right now. And you're definitely gonna have to wait a long time before you get her autograph, because her music wasn't written from a lived experience. It was stitched together. It was AI mining all the greatest hits and spitting out this amazing, perfect song. Rick Beato on CBS just prompted this song in, a few minutes. So my husband and I, we're both musicians, and it's something that we really care about and follow. And so when we heard this and we saw their AI bands popping up like Velvet Sundown, look that one up, we were wondering, how do we feel about that? Is this really original? What do we think about that from a craft perspective? You know, it kind of removes the whole, I just broke up with my boyfriend and I'm gonna sob, you know, and cry and write a song. It just removed all of that. You know, every musician borrows from somewhere, right? So is this like cheating? Or is this just like another tool in our musician's toolkit? So what happens when we start trading the lived experiences for the synthetic? And we just do it one at a time, a little bit here, a little bit there. When our culture is no longer written by us, but for us, by machines. It's like people are on autopilot. We're so enamored by AI that whatever AI has to offer, we're like consuming it, taking it in. But we all know that there's a dark side to it. Does this make sense? Yes. Are we okay with it? I'm not okay with it, and that's why I'm here. And that's why I started AI Design for Good. I was thinking, you know, I could be paranoid and paralyzed, or I could be powerful and poised and decide to do something about it. Take action. You know, as we heard yesterday, it was like, no longer are we talking about design having a seat at the table. We're now talking about designing the table, designing the ecosystem, the very place that everything exists. Are we thinking big enough? Are we designing big enough? Or are we stuck in our own paradigms, making that transition? Design is not making something look good or work well. We heard all about that over the last 2 days. It's about deciding whether something should exist in the first place. We have the pen, and with it, We have the power to design and shape anything. It's so powerful. AI is the ink. This is the biggest canvas we have ever had to work with. It's incredible. What we choose to write, to design, to build, to code, it's going to set the stage for the next century. Have we thought about the impact, the influence that every one of us has? I'm really hoping that as you walk out of here, that you feel in your heart inspired to do something more with the responsibility, the talents, and the gifts that you have. I want us to walk out of here and design for good in our organizations, everywhere we are. So we are feeling the disruption, the good, the bad, the yin, the yang, all of the effects of AI. It's like AI this, AI that. Yet, here we are. We're all in person. I don't know about you, but I have been feeling the love the last 2 days, and it's powerful. Savor this time, especially as we start heading into the close. We've spent the last 2 days thinking human first and machine second. How do we do that every day? AI also has lots of fun, playful aspects to it like this. This was fun. Only took a few minutes to create, but even in spite of that, right, the canvas that we have new challenges, new questions, and new answers that all of us are a part of making. So here's some of the research that I've been doing. Fraud attempts using deepfakes have grown 2,137% in 3 years. Did you know that 5 AI-generated images equals like charging 1 smartphone? And 1 long GPT report is like taking an 8-minute shower. So for any of you all that are taking 30-minute showers, that's what could be 4 long GPT reports. The AI data centers that are being built in the US, they take up 4.4% of our entire US electricity. And that's expected to double by 2030, which is crazy. I don't know, I think at the rate we're going, it's probably gonna happen faster. So everything comes at a price and a cost, but we don't always see it. It's beneath the surface. These are not just technical issues. They are design choices. Now, we're all here, design leaders from some of the biggest brands and companies, and we get to make human-first design choices, 1 human-first choice at a time. We get to create, craft, write, the PRDs even. I think someone mentioned that today. There's so many aspects, all of it. We get to do that, and we hold the pen, we hold the stylus, we hold the mouse. We have that power. So, how do we use our pens well? I created 8 human-first design principles. I know as designers, many of us are very principle-driven. So this was the first thing that I thought, you know what, I'm gonna do something. And I wanna challenge all of you to think about what you wanna contribute. These principles come from the last 4 years of working with and collaborating with AI. And the first one is, does this benefit humanity? Are we asking this question? I'm telling you, a lot of companies are making money. That is their #1 principle. How are we benefiting humanity? 2, are we making it better? 3, is it ethically designed? Are we thinking about the implications? Every aspect of the end-to-end process earns trust, makes the invisible visible. Are we working with models that are actually learning responsibly? Are we honoring utility? And ultimately, are we building for everyone? So I want to spend the rest of the time talking about 3 that have been most central to my work. And I want to show what some of this kind of looks like in practice. So when I was at Google, I distinctly remember it was the early 2022, and generative AI had just been emerging, Imagen 1.0, and I remember seeing text to image and text to video for the first time. It was mind-blowing. Obviously now, 4 years later, it's very much mainstream. We, at the time, again, we started with the technology, not the user need first. But we found product market fit. This is my daughter. I had to squeeze in 6'7" somehow into this talk. So it's a little Easter egg. And one of the things that we're doing as we're heading into the winter season, this is a common shopping problem. So I worked on new, innovative, next-generation shopping at Google. You know, teens are picky. It's hard to find the right thing that's teen-approved. We're trying to shop for the perfect puffer jacket on Google. And what we've observed, and again, this is, think about this 4 years ago. We would type in a search query, and what would come out wasn't visual, it wasn't resonating with global youth, and it didn't always turn out the product that someone like my daughter wanted. So that was the problem we were trying to solve. Because Google, at the time, we were looking for ways to resonate with Gen Z because they were all on TikTok and Instagram and everything else. So my team and I built and patented the MVP for what is called Vision Match. It's a generative AI shopping tool, and the whole idea, again, a little bit of canvas and play, is that you could go back and forth with generative AI, and you could create, you know, what you had in your mind's eye using text prompts, like, oh, okay, I'm looking for a colorful patterned puffer jacket for my daughter. And you can kind of have a conversation, and you can be like, actually, no, I want to switch it to a metallic puffer jacket, and then with the technology of Google Lens, it'll just automatically surface to you all of the closest items that you can shop. Visual first shopping experience. We put it in front of users, and we did research. And one of the other things that we did that was really important was spend time tinkering with our brilliant engineers. So we actually, before we even built what you just saw, we actually built out eng demos with our engineers, with the models. Does it work with generative AI? Is it better? And we compared it side by side with the other algorithms and tech that we had. And we wanted to make sure that it actually returned a better experience, and it did. Then we also tested this concept with Gen Z in 3 countries, qualitatively and quantitatively, and we got a resounding positive response to this, and that's what really led us to fund, build, and launch this to billions of users. So this experience leads me to the first principle I want to talk about, which is make it better. AI actually solved the problem better than without it. Are we asking this question every time we are creating something? You heard this earlier too. Not everything AI can do, should do. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. That's something we should be asking ourselves all the time. AI must meaningfully bring value. Otherwise, there's no point. It's just a technology, but we're putting so much emphasis on it. I hear so many companies saying, AI first. We are going to be AI first or AI native. What about human first? What about human native? I think we're losing sight of that sometimes. So that's the first principle. Now, I work at GoFundMe, and our mission is to help people help each other. And it has been so inspiring to work on a product and a company whose success is based on 100% on giving. Many of you know GoFundMe because you've probably gotten a fundraiser campaign, someone's probably forwarded it to you, or you've spread the word for someone in need. You might not know what GoFundMe Pro is, and this is the enterprise arm of the business which I lead. This is a platform that helps enable nonprofits to fundraise, to tell their story, to collect their donations and advance their missions. So I'm going to talk about this feature in particular. It's called intelligent ask amounts. Basically, we use machine learning to help our nonprofits determine the optimal amounts to ask their donors in order for them to drive the most revenue. That's really important for a lot of nonprofits right now who have lost funding. Now, if we dive a little bit deeper, you can see the nonprofit admin side, which is the tool specifically, and then on the other side is more the donor experience. On the nonprofit admin side, what we really wanted to do was surface the intelligence piece of this and make it very explicit and transparent to a nonprofit admin. And we also give them the option to toggle back and forth, and they can choose to use AI or they can go manual. We're building this full end-to-end experience where we're giving the nonprofits complete control, ability to customize to their brand, and to how they want to fundraise. And we're doing it by baking in intelligence, machine learning, AI, where it makes sense. Now, one of the fun facts that I learned when I got to GoFundMe was, one, how big this industry is, but two, 79% of nonprofits are more optimistic about AI's impact than the general public. I mean, that was a surprise to me. So the challenge is really balancing, designing for transparency, clarity, but also not adding unnecessary cognitive load. So I'm going to give an example with World Central Kitchen. With Intelligent Ask, if they, for example, want to run a campaign that's focused on recurring donations, then our tool can optimize for that and help them with that. If they're running a crisis campaign and they need to collect emergency funds as quickly as possible, we can also optimize for that. So that is how we're using AI to drive personalization and ultimately help our nonprofits succeed and meet their needs and meet them where they are. What's really incredible is that when they turned on intelligent ask amounts, they saw a 12% increase in their average donation size. Now that is AI design for good. This is a great example, I think, of principle 2 I wanted to talk about, which is make the invisible visible. How do we design for transparency and clarity? AI can't be a black box. It must be transparent, explainable, traceable, clear. People deserve to know what's happening and why. So my husband and I, we were just in Italy last summer. I was surrounded by architecture, frescoes, mosaics, antiquity. It was just breathtaking. And I stood inside the Vatican Museum and I was like, wow, imagine if we were inside the Sistine Chapel right now. It reminded me that good design withstands the test of time. I also walked through 2,600-year-old ruins of Pompeii. I mean, look at the detail that is still there. I mean, it was just wall after wall, and I took so much picture of tiles. I have like a whole series of tile photos, which I'm like still organizing and working on. I gazed up at the Orvieto Domo, St. Francis of Assisi. Oh my goodness, just so much beauty. And when I sat there, I thought, you know what? This stuff is older than all of our ages combined. And AI, it can pump out tons and tons of output, lots and lots of stuff, AI slop, some good, some bad, I know. But if we're not careful, it can become like fast fashion. Where does quality and craft fit into the AI ecosystem? How are we solving for that? Are we thinking about what that looks like? Because in a world of fast, shiny, disposable AI, I still believe that purpose is at the heart of what we do. What problem are we solving? And AI has been so commoditized. We risk designing without purpose, and that would be a shame. And sometimes we don't know. We're just lowering the standards, because sometimes it's just happening ever so slightly. We don't realize it. It's one decision at a time. I wanted to share this example, autocomplete. Here's the AI UX pattern that's been around for 21 years. It's so seamless, we barely notice it, right? Like, We just use it and see it all the time. It was designed in 2004 by Kevin Gibbs from Google on a bus. Our pens, they work anywhere, even on a bus, even in a Waymo. There's also conversational UI patterns emerging. It was interesting, as Jessa was talking about voice design and conversational design. I thought that was such a fascinating talk. Back when we worked on this 4 years ago, we were thinking about how do we mimic how you shop in a store. And if there's a clerk there and you're asking for advice and you're trying to figure out what decision between these shoes and that shoes, like how do we recreate that? How do we bring that human element into this interface? And so we created these chips, ask a follow-up chips. We pre-populated these chips with possible questions that people typically ask. And we use that as nudges to encourage that dialogue, that back and forth. So, it'll be interesting to see if this will be around in 20 years. But we are seeing these nudges and these chips even now, 4 years later, in a lot of other products. So as I look ahead in designing for nonprofits, I'm really excited about pushing my team to really think about how we can honor this principle of honors utility. How can we build durable, beautiful, useful experiences that are still going to be here 20 years from now? This is what it means to honor utility. So try these in practice. When you get a chance, check out AIDesignForGood.com because you can see all 8 principles. There's some resources there as well. But I'd love for you to take this back to your organization and stress test it. Try them out. Use them. Share your stories. Tell me how it's working. Give me feedback. I am totally down for editing these, making them better, because I would love for our entire UX community to own this if we really want this to be something. Now, I've spent my career designing at the forefront of technology. I started out as an intern, believe it or not, at NCSA working on the first Mosaic browser. I also have had a chance to build global payments with blockchain and crypto at Ripple, and of course you just heard about what I had the opportunity to do at Google and GoFundMe. So I've done B2B, I've done B2C, but what I really love is H to H, human to human. That's what we're designing for. So my son is presently in his senior year focused on applying for colleges. I don't know if anyone else here has teenagers or is in that process, but it's a whole thing. And I was just thinking about, gosh, I wonder what type of careers, I wonder what would exist for him when he graduates. I'm sure we all think about that with our own kids. And one of the things I was thinking about was we actually as designers here have the opportunity to design entirely new fields and industries. So I was just brainstorming. What about AI ethicists? What about creating an industry where we could start to help set governance and moral standards and guardrails for how AI is used? Or digital truth auditors. Now, literally, when I pick up my phone and look at anything, the first question I ask is this real or is this fake? We're going to need people to design ways for us to be able to tell the difference between what's real and what's fake. Or maybe we need empathy architects to design for connection instead of isolation. I mean, as we start to see devices, technology, AI take up more and more of our mind space, our lives, we have to figure out how to design for better connection. This could be a whole industry. My son has decided to major in environmental science. So I was thinking about the possibility of potentially having AI environmental scientists, because remember I was talking about the data centers. They still haven't figured out how to run those things sustainably. So we need the next generation, we need people to design something that works, that allows both to coexist without harming each other. So you can see there's a lot we can do. This is just a couple examples. We could brainstorm all day. There's a lot we can do. The future of AI isn't humans or AI, it's both. We all know that. Where AI brings scale, humans, we bring soul. Where AI brings speed, humans bring meaning. That's why this moment, this inflection point, this time that we are in right now matters so much. You know what? AI is going to get faster and better and more capable, but it will never know what it means to be human. That part is up to us. We hold the pen, and we have the power to design and shape anything on this canvas that we put our heart on, that we set our minds to. We can build a future where humanity thrives in the midst of AI, not the other way around. So we can channel all of what we have. What's your cause? What's your passion? What's your talent? How do we leave the products, the services, the experiences, this world better than the way we found it? Dream, write, shape, code, design for good. I can stand here and feel euphoria as I was just singing to you all right now. I can bring life into this world. I can cherish a decadent meal, its textures and its taste with my husband. I can daydream, weaving together fragments of lived experience into something new. AI can't do this. It doesn't sleep, so it doesn't dream. It doesn't love, so it doesn't know heartbreak. AI doesn't crave awe or connection or meaning, it's just processing data. If humans stopped feeding it data, it would go silent. AI can simulate words, it can feel, it can dream, it can't hold meaning. So this isn't about us losing data. This is actually about the potential of us losing ourselves and our humanity, especially if we go on autopilot. The scary thing is we won't even notice it slipping away if we aren't intentional. The more artificial the world becomes, the more human we must be. So pick up the pen, shape the future, and don't let AI write the story for us, because in the end, the most powerful design tool we have is not artificial intelligence. It's human intelligence and creativity. I'm Alice Au Quan. I hope you all join the movement with me. I would love to stay connected. And when you walk out of here today, commit to just one thing that you could do differently to design for good wherever you are, because it's going to take all of us. Thank you.